Hey, what's happening, YouTube? Chris here from New Venture Entrepreneurs. Thank you for checking out this video. And as usual, every week, me and Ben are going to talk about our Merch by Amazon week. So we're going to run down our sales, how many we have live, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be for the weeks of June 17th through June 23rd. We're just going to talk about Merch by Amazon business or any strategies that we have going forward. So Ben, thank you for being on here this week. How's your week been going?
It's been a good week. Thanks again for having me back. Really pumped to be here. Thanks for having me on your channel. But it's been a pretty solid week. I feel like things are getting a little bit more consistent for as far as like my merch business, and now that kind of is freeing me up a little bit to like start thinking about bigger picture stuff. And like we've been talking a little bit about like thinking, a few months in advance instead of just thinking about like the short term. So yeah, been good, man. What about you?
This week has been pretty good for me as well. Same thing I talked about in our last video. Like I'm making consistent sales, and it's still going forward with this week. So
Yeah,
it's like just the longer you're on it, the better it gets. As time goes on.
totally.
So yeah, it's been going pretty good. I was actually watching one of your other videos, and I saw that you mentioned your designer, and I saw that you had like a great rate for your designs. How are you able to negotiate your prices for the
Yeah.
designs?
Yeah, so I have a few videos from like right the early days, and pretty much what I did is I went in to find designers. I guess just to touch on that, the two main channels I was looking at was Upwork and then another website. I don't know if you've heard of it, but onlinejobs.ph.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Okay, that one's like specifically for people in the Philippines. And so I honestly thought that was going to be and I did look at Fiverr. I will say I looked at Fiverr, but I just was like, Fiverr seems more like a one-off kind of project rather than like I was looking for someone who hopefully would be longer term. So I ended up hiring my designer through Upwork, which I was kind of surprised because I got like 25 people that applied for the job within like the first 24 hours, maybe even the first 12 hours. And I thought online jobs PH was going to be the like route to go.
That's what I figured too, because I've heard from other people that online PH you get better rates in a sense.
Yeah,
You have to pay like a monthly fee for it too, huh?
That's the thing. So with online jobs.ph, you have to pay. You can post jobs for free, but you have to pay. I think it's fairly expensive. I want to say it's like almost $100 or $70 or something like that to communicate with the people that apply. But fortunately, I'd actually paid for it maybe like 4 months ago. And I just emailed them, was like, hey, like, would you guys mind? Like, I never used it. Can you just credit it towards this like month? So I used it and I posted a job again, but I didn't really get that much feedback. So anyway, long story short, pretty much got the designer and to kind of attract them in. I did $5 per design and said, I want to do like, a small batch to start, $5 per design, and then negotiate a bulk deal. So that was all in my job description. And I have like templates too I can give your audience or whatever. But so then from there we negotiated, and originally I actually pitched him on $250 per design. And he came back with 3, and then we leveled out at like $2.90 a design. So nice. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where it is. I think for the caliber of designs, like it's a good deal. And I don't think, I think it's also a good deal for him. I don't think it's just a one way. I think it works out well. So
nice.
Yeah.
So it was really like just the long-term opportunity that really appealed to him, and you started off paying a better amount, and then as time went on, you guys negotiated a better rate.
Yeah, I think it's important if you put in the job description $5 per design, that definitely helps to attract people, because there's a lot more like postings, and there are a lot of people who just throw like a job posting up there are going to say like, yeah, bulk $2 per design or something, which is going to attract like a different level of designer versus someone who's doing the $5 per design is going to attract the higher level. And then once you already have them in the door and in your like ecosystem or workspace, and you guys see how you work together, it's much easier to be like, hey, look, I like your work style. I'm willing to do a longer term thing, or this is kind of my vision and where it could go. Are you open to X, Y, and Z, this rate, or whatever it is? So did you find a new designer? Because I know you had some issues.
Yeah, that's going to be my focus for this week.
Yeah.
This week's been pretty slow with uploads for Merch by Amazon. So this week, straight up focus on getting a designer, because I need to get more designs up. I'm only doing it by myself as of right now. So Yeah, I will be finding a designer this week, and I'll get the ball rolling again, just like how it was before.
Awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Yep.
Good stuff.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the show. So
I'm
let's talk
ready.
about your merch by Amazon business. Let's talk about what tier you're on, how many shirts you have live, and how many shirts you've sold for the week, the number of designs that you sold, and let's go ahead and talk about if you had any returns, what worked, and what did not work.
All right, let's dig in. So, still at tier 500. I definitely uploaded a lot more this week. I got up to, I think last week we were maybe around like 130 designs. I can't exactly remember, but
I think it's like 180 or something.
oh, is it 180? Okay. Well,
Uh-huh.
anyway, I closed the week out at like 220, but I actually, for whatever reason, a lot of my removals came this week. So now, as in like my old designs, which is fine because I think that's like thinning them out. So now I'm at 197 live, just shy of 200. And yeah, so sold 8 shirts this week. No returns, but I did have a cancellation, which I don't know why. I seem to get those, and then it seems like it's just a matter of like someone accidentally ordered the wrong size or ordered maybe like one extra shirt on accident because this they canceled, and then I'm assuming it was the same person because that shirt sold and it's not one I normally sell. So yeah, so I sold 8, but really 7, and then they were all 7 of them were different designs. So which I love seeing because to me that means like I'm having success across the board, not just with like 1 or 2 designs. So yeah,
Yeah, that's
uh,
that's good actually.
yeah. You want me to go into what worked, or do you want to go over your numbers first?
No, go ahead and go into what worked for you and what didn't work.
Okay. What worked? I think just like I just uploading designs. I think the direct correlation for me is the more designs I have live, the more consistent I see like my numbers. There's definitely some weeks where you have the inconsistent like success or fewer shirts. Like I think last week it was only like 3 sales for me. It was super slow when we talked. But the week before that was 7, 6 or 7. So it seems though overall it's like the more shirts I have uploaded and weirdly the more attention I'm giving to merch in that week, I get like luckier with sales or something. So I guess just consistency was kind of what worked for me. And I can't really say other than that. I think that's just kind of it. And also, well, I think the stuff that I did 2 weeks ago is also catching up. So like all the time that I put into researching for different niches and kind of these new places I'm in now is paying off because maybe the shirts have indexed. I don't really know how it all works, but it's starting to hopefully speed up a little bit. So that's good.
Yeah, I remember you said the term in one of our earlier videos. You said just building those digital assets. So it may not, pop off when you first, upload it, but it's there in the internet, and then it just takes time to build up. So you're building your digital assets, and you're saying now it's starting to pay off. So yeah,
Totally, man. And so that's, I mean, like we keep getting at it, but like I'm so excited because like still it's like, okay, I'm only have 200 shirts live. Like imagine when you have 1,000 or 2,000 live, like it's going to be
exactly.
a whole nother game. So yeah, anyway, so I guess that's kind of what worked. And then what I'm going to kind of focus on going ahead this week, my designer already made like another 40 designs for me, like really good quality ones. And so I need to upload all of those. Like I really just need to put in the work to actually upload those. And then I'm also going to get him to do maybe another 50 to 100 because I'm kind of finishing out my like merch focus 30, which my goal that I set for myself was to like max out all of my upload slots. So I need to upload the ones he gave me, and then I have a bunch. I have maybe like another 60 I made myself, so that's 100. And then if he does another 100, and I upload all of those over the next week, then I'll be at 400. And then I think if I just do like 100 super simple like text ones or just some other ideas I've kind of been like stacking up, I can at least get the 500. And I'm kind of curious what you think on this, but do you like? I'm really hoping to get tiered up to tier 1,000 in the near future. Do you think that? Now is that more happening just based on like how many shirts you and designs you've uploaded, or do you think it's still based a lot off sales?
Yeah, I think it's really based off sales from my experience.
Yeah,
We've talked about this before. We've tiered up, even though we didn't, upload close to like the maxed out design, I guess. Like, well, we
yeah,
get kind of close, but I think it's really sales is really jumping us to the next tier, or maybe a mixture of both. I can't really say. Like I remember when I was on tier 25, I only had about 23 uploaded, but I still was able to tier up to 100. So I think sales really helps, and I'm pretty sure other people have the same story where they haven't maxed out their uploads, but they
Sure.
were still able to tier up. You know, but I
Yeah.
like to hear that you're hustling, man. You said you're gonna put up, you said 60 designs, or you have 60 designs. Like
Yeah.
that's
I'm ready
hustling,
to
man. I like
go.
that.
I'm ready to go. It's
There
like
you
I
go.
just, I want to. I feel good about it. Like, definitely. Again, it's like now I'm seeing okay, the business model's legit. Like there are, it's still like it's not a lot of money that I'm making or anything, but I see like the potential there, and I see even beyond that, like, we've talked about a lot of our experiences on like other platforms like eBay and all of that stuff, and so I think there's again going back to like what we just said, the digital assets, like it doesn't matter if like this is the final platform, but now I have all those assets and that kind of portfolio built up, so I can take that and next month I can hire someone else or use maybe the same guy I have and say like, hey, I'll pay you X, Y, Z for you to upload all my designs to like an Etsy store or to eBay. And then it's like, okay, well, what if those on top of the merch stuff is also going to add like an extra, $50, $100 each? Well, that's a car payment. Like if I can get those, eBay and Etsy also going and have like hopefully merch up to maybe like 50 or $100. And so I think that's like kind of the exciting part to me is if you can do it once, like you can keep doing it. If I can make $25 a month for merch, then that means I can get that up to $100, or I can make another $25 on a different platform. I think that's like how my mind works a lot.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's why it's always good to venture out into different platforms. You can kind of get a good idea of how much you're going to make on one platform, venture out to something else, and build that business up, and then so on and so forth. So you
Totally,
can
man.
say you have just a monthly goal of making, let's just say $10,000. You want to make $10,000 per month. You know what you're making on merch. Build your eBay business to the point where you know what you're going to make on that, and then just keep going from there, so you can get to that $10,000 per month. Just keep
Yeah,
building your digital assets and that footprint.
exactly. All
All
right,
right.
let's hear yours. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
let's get into mines. So I am still on tier 500. I do have 115 designs live right now. So I didn't really put up that many, unfortunately. Last week I think I said I was around 108 or 109, something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting up a couple designs, or a design a day, really. But this week, my focus is to get a designer. I haven't had one for a couple weeks now, like I said earlier. And so I just want to get a designer and get him, designing for me and get this ball rolling. The number of shirts that sold for me this week is 15. So
Ooh,
that's a pretty good
nice.
number. And the number of designs that sold was actually 5. So I sold 5 different designs for a total of 15 shirts. A little bit interesting. I did have
Awesome.
a Mother's Day shirt that sold and a Father's Day shirt that sold, and just my usual niche that usually sells for me. So it was a little bit strange that I sold a Mother's Day shirt. So
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
that's pretty funny.
And you sold a Father's Day shirt after Father's Day?
After Father's Day, yeah, I sold like 2 or 3 so far, and one of them was like the day before Father's Day, one was on Father's Day, and like one was a couple days after. So yeah,
That's
it's very funny how
yeah.
Amazon works. You know,
Gotta love the internet, man. I love that. There's always someone who's gonna buy one of your things out there. Like it's crazy.
it's just so unpredictable. You gotta love it.
Yeah. But so you did 12 shirts, I think, the week before. And you're kind of the opposite of me, where I'm doing, 1 unit, but over 7 shirts. You're doing 15 units, but it's over like 5 designs. So like averages like 3 per design. So
Right.
you're totally going more on like what we've talked about, but like you have yet that one niche that really works well for you.
Yeah, and I did, kind of venture out into other niches as well. But like I said before, they're not really working for me. For Mother's Day and for Father's Day, it's just so random. You never know what's going to happen. So I did sell one at least for Father's Day, or I mean a few. So that's pretty good. For returns, I didn't have any returns. Fortunately, I remember last week I did have one return, so it
Yeah.
was good to see that I didn't have any this week.
Awesome, man.
What worked for me this week? So what worked was getting one of my shirts, was my top selling shirt, to a BSR rank of 100,000. So it
Wow.
got up to 100,000, and
That's awesome.
one of my best days, I think it was actually, I want to say Wednesday. I sold 6 shirts in one day, which is my highest, amount of shirts that I sold in one day. So that was pretty amazing. And yeah, this shirt continues to sell pretty well for me. I like it. And what I'm doing with that is, since I noticed that it's selling, it's really just it's a basic text with like a not even a design or a graphic or anything. It's really primarily text. So what I'm doing now is like I'm taking that text and putting it like in a different font. So it's just so easy, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
putting it in a different font, using the same keywords and everything, and uploading it and seeing how that works out. So that's what I'm doing now. So another thing that worked for me was that I noticed that when I raised my prices last month, I'm starting to see, you know, the fruits of my labor, I guess. By raising the prices, I'm having a better month as far as royalties than last month. And I think I
Interesting.
I think I sold more. Let me double check on that real
Now, are
quick.
you raising prices to the? I'm also taking some notes over here, but are you raising your prices to the market price, like in that niche, or are you just raising it like to something random that you think it's worth or valued at, or?
Like I said before, 16.99 usually works for me.
Hmm.
There are, for the niche that I'm in, a lot of the shirts are 17.99. So, you know, it's pretty good that I have like a dollar less. People might be more interested in that, you know,
Yeah,
$1 savings, I guess. Let's see.
but that's still so that's still a solid royalty then because you're so that's what like four is that $4 per shirt?
It is $3.11 per sale.
Okay, okay,
So I have my pretty merch up right now, and I'm looking at it. And last month in May, I sold 28 shirts, and right now in June, I've sold 32 shirts. So it's already been an increase in sales. Revenue share is 14%, and Amazon's taking that 86. But it's just interesting that you know I'm raising my prices, and you know I'm doing better than before. So you know
yeah,
that might be
that
a good
is.
thing to do.
Yeah, that's like the age old question of like should you I don't know. For me, I did increase my prices this month, but I'm still kind of going back and forth between where I should be pricing strategy because it's I mean it definitely is that thing of like, well, if you price super low, it might be that lower perceived value, but on the flip side, you might catch some of the low hanging fruit. And then the
Right,
opposite end is like if I price it high, like people might not buy it because it's too high and they're price sensitive, but they might buy it actually instead because it seems like it's a higher value, like a good quality shirt, like 16.95.
right,
I'd pay 16.95 all day for like a solid design tee, especially if I vibe with like the graphic or the text that's on it. Like that's like the perfect price point.
right. So yeah, that's going pretty well. What didn't work? Yeah, what didn't work for me? Pretty much the same thing as last week. Since I said I didn't upload as many designs as I could have or I should have, I might be missing out on some sales that I could have had. So what didn't work, you know, just not uploading consistently like I
Yeah,
should. I do want to talk about a strategy that I'm going to be going with for the week.
cool.
Um, I did say, I think before we got on this, you know, chat, I'm starting to take my top selling designs and I'm putting them from standard to premium just to test out the market to see how that works. So I have a few top selling designs, and like I said, they're all on standard, so I'm gonna put them on premium and you know see how that goes. You
Hmm.
know, some people might look at both designs and say like, well, one's cheaper and one's higher price. You know, this is better quality, so
Right.
that might steer them to get the higher quality shirt, or vice versa. You know, they might see both shirts and say, well, this one's 19.99 and this one's only 16.99. I just want the shirt, so I'm gonna buy the
Sure.
16.99 shirt. So we'll see how that goes. I currently have, I think like five like you know good selling designs up, so I'm just changing those to premium. So that's gonna be my strategy going forward for this week. And the other strategy I want to do is, like I talked about earlier, just getting a designer to design for me.
Right.
It's a little bit difficult of you know making the design and then researching the design and then making the design and then uploading and doing that for so many different designs and all that stuff. So it's a lot easier when you can do either one, do the research and then tell your designer you know what to make. um, it just makes it a lot easier for you know taking all that work off of your plate.
Totally.
um, so yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with my merch by Amazon business. I'm glad to see that both of our businesses are growing at this point. um,
Dude, yes.
so
We're
how do you
doing
feel about getting ready for fourth quarter? Do you think it's too early, or do you think this is the right time to, you know, start getting ready for fourth quarter? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's never really a time that's too early, but yeah, I mean, I think like our talk last week, definitely trying to focus on getting some of the trends going a little bit more. I've traditionally stayed away from trends and holidays and that kind of thing. And so that's another thing like I do want to put a little bit more attention on, and especially going, you know, like you mentioned last week, now's the perfect time to start throwing up t-shirts for Halloween, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, and like all the stuff that's coming up. So I think that is going to be a focus. You know, I think I definitely feel like I'm learning so much more, especially this last month, and talking, you know, bouncing ideas off of you. So it's really cool for me. I just need to like think about how some of the stuff that you're telling me is going to like, you know, like make its way into my business. So yeah, I guess that's kind of where I'm at. But what about you? Are you already putting up stuff? I know you said you haven't been throwing up as many designs, but are you going to start putting shirts up now for fourth quarter? Or are you going to wait a little bit?
I think it's not a bad idea. I mean, even if you don't put like all your designs as you know, holiday shirts, maybe get like just a few. You
Right.
know, probably like say you put up, I don't know, 9 of your regular well-researched designs, and then you want to put up like one holiday shirt. I think that's a pretty good strategy to go with, because now that we have that 6 month, you know, you can have your shirt on Amazon without being taken down little thing going on. That is pretty good to. That's why it's a good idea to get into it actually. You know.
Totally.
Do you have anything else that you want to discuss?
Yeah, I actually do. So you did mention that is it your top selling shirt, but one of your shirts you said you got to sub 100K BSR?
Yes, one of my shirts got to 100,000, you know, BSR, and yeah, when that happens, you know, your shirt, you know, it happens to sell a little bit more. I'm waiting for my review. I haven't got any reviews on any of my shirts yet. I think that when you
Yeah.
get reviews, it's
Yeah,
really gonna make your shirt look a lot better, you know.
totally. No, I was gonna ask, what like do you have any particular strategy specifically that you use? I'm really interested in kind of like BSR and getting shirts like ranked up. You know, I know both of us have talked a lot about how we have an interest in Amazon private labeling, and so you know, in private label, like that is everything. It's like getting your BSR and getting to like the first 1 or 2 pages of search results. So I'm
Right.
like really right now trying to think about what ways can you get the shirt to rank, you know, sub 100K. So I'm just curious, do you have any specific strategy, or do you feel like it's more just by luck, or like the research
Yeah.
front?
That's the thing, is you don't know what's gonna happen. It's so unpredictable. Some people just really resonate with the design and they just buy it. I do what I started doing since last week was going to the shirt or the page that my shirt is ranked on.
Yeah,
I'll just type in my keyword and I'm on the first page. I have 3 designs on the first page for that keyword. And
that's
I'm just starting to look at it a lot more. And I'm also going to my competitors' page just to see, you know, what are they doing to be next to me. And when I scroll down, they'll have um, like other listings inspired by your views or items related to this item. And I see that my shirt is in one of those, you know, those inspired by shirts or, you know, something like that. So
interesting.
I noticed that since my shirt is there, you know, and people like the design, it's just more available and more like active in their face. So like
It,
the best thing you could do is try to get your design in more faces as possible, but you can't really control that. All you can do to control it is really just, you know, try to get the best design you can, and then uh, kind of like strategize or test different prices to see what works really.
yeah, I was gonna say, is that you said like in the inspired by section, is that the like if someone's on the shirt page, they're gonna see the customers also bought with
Yeah.
like, is
hmm
that what that is?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it looks like there's like 3 different sections when you go to a listing. There's like customers also bought or inspired by your views or you know, items related to, you know, those sections are on each listing page from my understanding. And you know, hopefully you get on those pages and, you know, hopefully people will click on it. I wish I had a definite answer with you know, how to get your shirt ranked, but honestly you never know, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, man, that's so exciting though. Like just getting a shirt to sub 100. And the other thing I really like that you do is you're actually like taking the time. You know, you have a niche that really works for you, and so you're going back and actually checking like what does the customer see when they land there, and also like what are the competitors doing that are like right next to your shirts or above or below your shirts. I haven't
Right.
done that at all, and I think that's a really really smart thing. Like I'm definitely gonna I have all kinds of notes I've written down. So I'm going to definitely take some of those on my business and take a look at like what are the other people actually doing? What's the customer sees? So
Right. You gotta be really aggressive. If you want to be number one, you have to know your competitors in and out. So that's just the way to go.
totally.
I'm even taking notes from you as well as far as like negotiating price. So what works for you is pretty much really advertising that long-term strategy and advertising a better price to get people reeled in and get their interest. So once I find my designer this week, those are strategies I'm going to use to get my designer. So thanks for sharing your
Of
strategy,
course,
Ben.
man. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think do you have anything else? I think that's like pretty much it. I feel like I need to get to work and take some of this and like put it into
Yeah.
my business ASAP because I want the results you're having. So
That's it for me. That was a pretty good show today. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. I'm going to link Ben's channel in the description box, so go ahead and check him out. Subscribe to his channel. He puts out great content, so go ahead and subscribe to him. And thank you everyone for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next video. All right, that was good.